think it was either Brother Dwayne or Brother Tahid that wanted me to do this episode. And a lot can be said about this topic. I won't say a lot here because my time is limited. However, there are things that need to be covered when it comes to this topic because it's a very interesting topic. It came to me over satellite. Brother even put up some credit for it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it justice. Now I'll say this. Anything that you do in the sexual experience is your business. Everything I'm going to say in this episode is only for someone that's truly trying to ascend through the sexual modality. This is not for the superficial or vain. Seriously, though. Many people, when they hear about sexual ritual, they get competitive. They like to think about who's bigger, who's smaller, who's wetter, who's this, who's that. And this isn't about that. I'm just going to point that out. I have to point that out and talking about this. Now, the brother wanted to know sincerely, what are my views on oral sex? And I'm going to say this. And I'm probably going to come back at this topic. But I'll say this just for now and just leave it at this. The problem that we have here in Western society is this. We don't have a connection spiritually with the sexual experience. To us in the West, the sexual experience is all about what you get out of it on a senses level, on a sensual level. The spiritual aspect has not been discovered as of yet. And I'm saying that because when you look around, and you look at the type of beings that we're producing, children, we're not on the level that we should be on, according to being in the year 2021, according to my research. This isn't my opinion. This is based on some maps and stuff that I've been studying that were left to us by our ancestors. And they leave kind of like a criterion of where we should be. And a lot of our experience, believe it or not, as far as evolving, is based upon sex. Out of all of the different modalities in the occult, sex is the most important. And a lot of people may not agree with this because people don't agree with rituals, but sex is a ritual, period. I don't care if you're a Christian, Muslim, or whatever you believe in. If you're partaking in sex, you're partaking in ritual, period. And if you don't want to partake in ritual, then don't partake in sex. See, that's the first thing we need to get out of our minds. So before you start talking about receiving oral sex and all of that, I'm going to get into that in a second. You have to understand that. Now, when it comes to sex, there's levels to it. So what you should experience or what you can do, I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective now. This isn't for, you can do what you want. Remember I said that. This is for the spiritualist, somebody that's striving to, to ascend, not just to live better on a right and wrong level, but to ascend. And what you do with your phallus, believe it or not, according to the ancients and the sexual chambers, there's levels to what you can do with your phallus depending on your ascension, depending on the level that you are on. So what I mean by that is that you shouldn't be putting your phallus in different places if you have not met the criteria for that place. Any hole, whether it's a mouth, a vagina, or whatever you put your stuff in, that's your business. Any hole that you put your stuff in, your phallus or your magic wand, you are supposed to leave something with that hole, whether it's credit. Hopefully it's not debt, but you can leave debt with it. Or you can leave credit, but not a lot or not enough. So when you put your phallus in something, this is addressing the males mostly, you have to ask yourself, what are you worth? And are you going to get out of putting when you put your phallus in whatever you about to put it in, are you going to financially now on a physical level? Your phallus is a wand. It's supposed to manifest whatever you want. It's literally a tool. It's not just to nut. Now, I'm even practicing this, so I don't think that I'm perfect, but I'm just throwing this out there. So you have to ask yourself, are you are you gonna get what you want? Not just what you want, but are you getting your worth out of what you about to do? What is it worth to you? Are you getting that? We've already addressed the females, talking to the males. And not only are you getting it, are you gonna leave this piece of property or hole or whatever you about to put your stuff in with more wealth and equity than what it was before you got there? So that's what you have to point out. And the problem is that many of us have not evolved to the level to be able to experience certain sexual rituals. So when it comes time, when you talking about getting oral sex and this and that, you're doing it in what I call debt. You're vising oral sex in what I call you're vising debt. You're not crediting anything. Your sex is turned into a debt. I mean, you're going to end up getting a hold put on you. See, why you think they call it STD, sexually transmitted disease? And what do they say? You contracted. They say you contracted. There's no such thing as an STD from my perspective. I can do videos to prove that, but I'm going to talk about that here. This is something dealing with commerce. They'll give you, let me tell you something what guys don't know. When you visa in debt, or when you in debt on different levels, this is when the doctor tells you got a disease. The doctor ain't gonna say you got a disease if he doesn't see you in bodily debt. That's right. Bodily debt. So I'm saying that about oral sex. So do I agree with it? I think it's fine. But I know for sure that nobody walking this planet right now has reached the level of what their phallus, from what I've researched as of yet, to receive it and to really justify how much energy you're going to give in exchange in the process, to really justify that financially. Nobody's doing that. People are doing this to gratify their lower desires. And there's other things that you could do if you just want to do it for that would not only be more lucrative, that would save you a lot of time and a lot of money. But am I against it? No, I think it's fine. I think that the woman receiving oral sex and the male receiving oral sex is a slightly different contract. And I'll explain that in another video, but I don't see anything wrong with it. The question is, have we earned our keep? Have we earned our ability to really leave whatever we're about to enter into with something? Or are we just doing this to get a nut? So I hope this helped. As always, I'll come back up with more information as time permits me. Stay vigilant. Namaste. Hotel.